Welcome to Everything But the Homework.
This podcast is to help you learn more about Trinity.
This podcast is mostly aimed at junior high, but all ages can enjoy. I'm Ronnie.
And I'm Caleb, and this is Everything But the Homework.
Have you ever wondered how your teachers became teachers?
First, we're interviewing Mr. Lucas.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I love the name of the podcast, by the way. Very nice.
Yeah, thanks. I came up with it.
Very good.
What's your favorite thing about teaching 7th grade?
Teaching 7th grade and some 8th graders, I have to say my favorite thing is probably their sense of humor. They're very, very funny. Sometimes they're not as funny as they think they are, but even when that happens, it's pretty funny. So I love the sense of humor, and then just their ability to think critically at a pretty high level at this age is something that I find really fun. It makes class very interesting. So I just love teaching 7th grade.
Nice. Okay. So then next question is, where did you go to school?
Well, I have gone to Lutheran schools my whole life.
Nice.
Kindergarten, I was at...
Me too so far.
Oh, nice. Very good. Trinity, right? In kindergarten, I was at St. Paul in Cincinnati. First and second grade, St. Peter in Fort Wayne. 3rd through 8th grade, I was at Holy Ghost in Monroe, Michigan. And then I went to Lutheran High South in high school. And then for college, I went to Concordia, Ann Arbor. Go Cardinals.
Okay. That sounds fun. Okay. So next is, what do you think you were going to do as an adult when you were in junior high?
So I didn't really think too much about the future when I was in junior high. I was mostly focused on Xbox and Halo and all that. But I guess if I had to think about it at the time, I wanted to be an architect maybe. Didn't really know what that totally meant, but it sounded cool at the time.
That sounded cool at the time, and now you're a teacher, so.
That's right.
I'm just going to add on a little bit, when did you discover that that's the next question, actually. When did you know that you wanted to be a teacher?
I really didn't know until I was in college, my freshman year in college. I actually started out to be a business major, but then I didn't really like where that was going, so had some good prayer time, some long thoughts about it, and I decided I wanted to follow in my parents' footsteps, who were both teachers, and enter education.
And that's how you became a teacher. Okay, So next question is, what is your least favorite... what was your favorite and least favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject in school was probably English.
That makes sense. Yeah. You're the English teacher.
I love reading, and I find grammar interesting. I'm a pretty big nerd that way. My least favorite subject, and I'm sorry, Mrs. Lindhurst, but my least favorite subject growing up was definitely science. It just wasn't my thing.
Okay, it's fine. So, and then next question: how long have you been teaching at Trinity?
I had been here, my first year was the 2012-2013 school year, so this would be year number 13, and it doesn't seem like it at all. It seems like it just started yesterday.
Yeah, it does seem like that was yesterday, even though I was only 2 back then. But yeah. And now tell us a fact that one of your students would know, or all of them.
Well, I guess as a hobby, I like trading card games, so I like Disney's Lorcana right now. My wife and I are really into that.
I've never heard of that, but that makes sense.
Look it up.
A student would know. And last question for you: if you weren't going to be a teacher, what would you do for a living?
I would be a professional athlete. I'm not
what
near
sport?
Soccer. I'm not nowhere near good enough to be a professional athlete, but since it's a hypothetical question, why not?
Soccer. I tried it once and I just never
not
did
for
it
you?
again.
That's okay. So neither of us are professional soccer players, I guess.
Yep. And I don't think Caleb is either. Are you?
No, I'm not.
Yeah. Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lucas.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next, we're going to be interviewing Mrs. Lindhurst. Hi, Mrs. Lindhurst.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
Doing great.
Okay. The first question that we have is, what is your favorite thing about teaching 7th grade?
I just like Mr. Lucas. I like your guys' sense of humor. I feel like we can relate to you guys a lot more. And also, I have my own son is a sophomore, so I feel like I can guide you guys a lot with, hey, I'm going through it as a parent, and just to help you guys go, hey, this is what my own kid's going through. Like right now, this is where you guys are going to be in literally 3 to 4 years. So how can I help you guys with that? And I love that I am able to give you some of that wisdom.
Because you can see what like we're going to experience in the future.
Exactly. I know like what he's going through right now at Northwest and what he's doing in like science class because I teach it, and I'm like, you guys got to know this because I know you have to.
And you're going to be taught it anyway, so might as well get a head start.
You might as well.
The next question is, where did you go to school?
I actually came here to Trinity from kindergarten through 8th grade, so I'm a Trinity alum. Woohoo! You guys can find me on the wall. I'm not saying what year it is.
Ask me if you need help.
I found it before.
I know I really don't like my 8th grade picture, but then I went to Dakota High School, which was all in God's plans, I think, because that is where I met friends that actually introduced me to my husband. Later on in college, when I was at Central, I went to Central Michigan University for teaching. And then later on, I've gotten my colloquy from Concordia Ann Arbor.
Yay. What did you think you were going to do when you were in junior high?
I knew I was going to be a teacher. I did not know what I wanted to teach besides 1st grade, probably.
Oh?
I wanted the young kids. So, yeah.
More energy.
A little more energy, yes.
And, well, you got kindergarten.
I did have kindergarten for a while. I miss them, but
yes.
I like the littles too.
It's a lot.
I don't think it's too, sometimes it's pretty similar, right? But kindergarten and junior high.
Yeah, just bigger bodies.
Yeah. When did you know that you were going to be a teacher?
In 1st grade, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. I remember I had Miss Brunk as my 1st grade teacher, and she had us draw a picture of what we wanted to be when we grew up, and I drew a picture of her. Mm-hmm. And so for a long time, I was like, I want to be a 1st grade teacher. And that obviously changed when I came here. And like when I did my student teaching, it was in 3rd grade, and I was like, ooh, I love that too. And then kindergarten, I loved being in kindergarten, but then I came up to junior high. I did not know that I wanted to be a science teacher though for a while, probably until I was in high school or college.
It was a great decision to come to junior high.
Thanks. I like it.
So
you guys are fun.
Like you liked a bunch of different grades because every grade has like their different challenges.
They do. They have their challenges, but they also have their perks too. Mm-hmm. Like I love arts and craftsy stuff. So like to do like those little projects for the hands-on, fine motor skills in kindergarten. I love that. But then I love teaching science to you guys. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Okay. The next question is, what was your favorite and least favorite subject in school?
So I'm going to go with when I was in junior high. My least favorite subject was actually science. Yes.
The tables have turned.
They have. I will admit, I actually was failing science in 7th grade.
Oh.
And
now you teach it.
I had Mr. Seekman in 7th grade come up and teach science that one year. And he got after my parents and said, hey, she's failing science. And my parents came down really hard on me. And I learned how I study best through that, though. And then in high school, I had an amazing science teacher for chemistry. His name was Mr. Pfeiffer, and he was awesome. I fell in love with science probably right around then. And I was like, this is what I want to do. I think I shocked Mr. Seekman the first time I said I wanted to come back or that I was going to teach science when he saw that. And I was like, yeah, no, I know it wasn't my best subject, but my favorite subject, though, probably art class or gym. I liked it. I'm very crafty and like art, and then gym class.
You never said your least favorite.
It was science in junior high.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you just got to restate that now that you're a science teacher.
How long have you been teaching at Trinity?
This is actually my 14th year total. I did 6 years in kindergarten, so it's my 8th year up in junior high now.
Tell us a fact a student wouldn't know about you.
All right, so I'm going with a fun fact.
Oh.
You guys probably would not know that I have been an extra in 2 different movies. So
do we get to know what movies?
Not like paid, and you probably would have to really, really find me. When I was little, probably 9 or 10, I was at the White Sox game when they were filming My Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts in it. And so we are actually directly across from where her seats were. So we were watching kind of some of the filming and stuff. So that was neat. And then 13, 14 years ago, I went to Fisher High School and was an extra in a Kristen Chenoweth movie. So we got to see her. And
what movie was that?
I do not remember the name of the movie. It never made the big screen. I think that was a directly movie to video kind of deal. But it was fun to see the whole movie process go on.
If you weren't going to be a teacher, what would you do for a living?
This has changed over the years. Like, I always thought like Egyptology was really cool to learn all about Egypt and the hieroglyphics and everything. Right now, I would say I would be a quilter and a fabric designer. I would love to be able to design fabric and design my own quilts and everything.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
Well, thank you for coming down on the nice interview.
No problem. Thanks for having us. That was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Anytime. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we have Mrs. Myers and Mrs. Basinski. We're going to start with Mrs. Myers. Okay, Mrs. Myers, how are you today?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me, Caleb.
You're
How
welcome.
are you?
I'm good. So our first question is, what is your favorite thing about teaching 8th grade?
Oh my goodness, there are so many things I love about teaching 8th grade. I love the subject matter. I love teaching American history. And I love this age group because my students are so funny and so caring, and you get to see their personalities develop and their strengths come out and watch them grow before they get ready to go on to high school.
Nice.
Our next question is, where did you go to school?
Well, I started kindergarten when I was 4 in Marysville, Michigan. And then I went to a Lutheran school in Port Huron. And then I went to Port Huron High School, go Big Reds. And then I went to Concordia, Ann Arbor.
What did you think you were going to do when you were in junior high?
I was certain I was going to be a nurse. I wanted to help people. I wanted to like cheer them up and make them laugh if they were sick or in the hospital. And then there's this thing called needles and blood. And I realized that the sight of blood makes me pass out. So I was like, I'm going to need to pivot on that and not do that profession.
When did you know that you wanted to be a teacher?
Well, when I was in high school, like a junior in high school, I was a Sunday school teacher at my church. And one of the other Sunday school teachers, who was also a second grade teacher in a school, approached me and said that she saw a gift in me that I would be a good teacher, and that she had a dream that God told her to talk to me about becoming a Lutheran school teacher and serving. So that's what I did. I followed God's plan.
Interesting. When you were in school, what was your favorite and least favorite subject?
Well, honestly, it's not really a subject, but I loved gym class because, believe it or not, I was actually quite athletic. And so like I loved gym and I loved being outside. But like an academic subject, I loved English, and reading, like I could get lost in a book and just be somewhere else other than school. And like I was really good at writing. So that was my favorite. Least favorite is probably math because, you know, once you get lost in math, you're just lost. And so that was just a struggle for me. I enjoyed it, but I'm good at teaching it. I just struggled with it a little bit in school. I found it frustrating.
How long have you been teaching at Trinity?
I've been here at Trinity, Utica, home of the Warriors, since 2012.
Same year as Mr. Lucas.
Yeah. Tell us a fact a student wouldn't know about you.
Let's see. One time when I was out in California visiting a friend of mine from college who was teaching out there, I was selected to play the part of an astronaut in a TV show. So I got to wear the astronaut costume. I got to be up in the air. It was just super cool and an experience that I will never forget.
Interesting. And our last question is, if you weren't going to be a teacher, what would you do for a living?
Well, social work is always something that I wanted to do. Actually, even like as I was going between teaching and social work, just because I enjoy helping people and I enjoy just listening to people and letting them talk and letting them express what they need to talk about. I also would love to be a coach for the NFL, like the Lions, because like I really know my football, so I would be phenomenal at that. Or I would like to run a dog rescue for dogs that need to be rescued and loved.
Okay, thanks, Miss Myers.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
next guest is someone who teaches junior high also, Miss Basinski. So how's your day going, Miss Basinski?
That's going great. How about you, Ronnie?
Great. Okay, so what's your favorite thing about teaching a 7th and 8th grade?
Let's see. Well, 7th and 8th grade, I like the age group. I like being able to prepare them for high school coming up and giving them those skills. And also, it's really fun to joke around with them after class and all that. And I'd have to say more so my 8th graders, because that's where we get more into classroom discussions. They have some really insightful things to say when we talk about literature. So there are some times where I'm just like kind of taken aback at how insightful that some of their interpretations are. So that's really great to see.
Okay. And next question is, where did you go to school?
Well, I went to high school at Bishop Foley, so maybe that sounds familiar to some of your viewers. And I went to college 1 year at Michigan State. I wish I knew it was dressed as Michigan or Michigan State Day. I would have dressed up in green. And then I went to Oakland University.
Nice. Okay, and then what did you think you were going to do when you were in junior high?
Oh, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do in junior high. I knew that I was interested in science at the time. I thought maybe I would do something in the science field, maybe like a nurse or something. But I didn't really have any plans at that point.
When did you know that you wanted to be a teacher?
It was in college. I was taking English classes, and I just realized that was always my favorite class. And I started thinking like, well, the teacher seems to be having fun too, and it's great getting to read and talk about what we read. And I just wanted to keep doing that, and so I became an English teacher.
And then what was your favorite and least favorite subject in school?
Well, yep, my favorite was always English. Like I said, I liked...
That was pretty predictable.
Yeah.
Or science.
I always liked reading, and I thought creative writing was always fun to do. I always looked forward to that. But other than that, I also enjoyed science as well. I liked learning about life and the environment. My least favorite, I'd say, was math. Math was always pretty daunting to me. And kind of like what Mrs. Meyer said, like once you start getting lost in math, it's kind of hard to find your way back again.
Yeah. And then, how long have you been teaching at Trinity?
I think this is going on 5 years. I began 2020 in October, and now we're getting
like right during COVID.
Yeah, I know. It was a pretty crazy time to get started, to get started in teaching. But yeah, now we're going into 2025, so it'll be 5 years.
I know. It's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty short, honestly. And then tell us a fact that a student would know, like when you're a student.
Well, I think some know that I have a cat named Mr. Meow Meow. I don't know if you guys knew that.
That's a
I didn't
great
know
name.
that.
Oh,
If I ever get a cat, I'll name it Mrs. Meow Meow.
yeah,
I'll make them live together. No, I'm just kidding.
And I guess that was some of the students that already graduated then. So yeah, I guess one fact is I have a cat named Mr. Meow Meow and another cat named Remy. And I actually got Remy. I actually lost Remy like pretty soon after I got him. He got out, and it took a month of me like every night going out and looking for him and putting posters up. And after a month, someone else found him, and I drove over there on the 4th of July. And
was that this year?
Him. That was a 2 to 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, if you weren't going to be a teacher, what would you do for a living?
Something in maybe the medical field. Realistically, maybe. I mean, maybe that's. I mean, it sounds pretty hard to do, but my other idea was like an animator. As a kid, I would watch Disney movies and cartoons, and I wanted to have a part in that. And I thought animation sounds like it would be really fun. But then I learned how time consuming it is. You got to draw each frame, and I was like, I don't have the patience for that.
And so you became a teacher.
Yep.
Yay. Okay, thank you, Miss Basinski. It was fun.
All right, yeah, thanks for having me.
And for people who have ideas for cats, just name it Mr. or Mrs. Meow Meow. That's a great name.
That's right.
Okay, thanks. So we're back on everything but the homework.
And now we have Mr. Snay. Hi, Mr. Snay. How are you today?
Good morning, guys.
It's like 3 p.m., but okay. So I'll ask first. So, what's your favorite thing about teaching all the grades?
Teaching all the grades?
And
Well, you're a gym teacher.
every
Well,
single class.
Well, I have
Just like teaching kids.
every grade.
Yeah.
So I would say the older kids probably playing a lot of the sports, and the younger kids, they're just excited to do everything. No matter what I say, I could tell them we're going to go pick up rocks, and they'd be excited and go, "Woo."
They
You
just have
should
a
try
lot of
that
energy.
one time.
I know, I probably should.
Like, we're going to go pick up rocks. And then just like in a few years later, can we go pick up rocks?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, maybe we'll try that with your class, Ronnie.
Yeah, they'll be
We're in
very
8th grade.
excited.
You don't have much time to do that, but yeah.
Well, I'll be like, this next question is, where did you go to school?
Would I go to college or high school? Or
Just
both.
all of the schools.
All right, I'll start in elementary school. I went to Eisenhower Elementary School in Fraser, then John F. Kennedy Middle School, and well, it's junior high in Fraser High School. Then I went to Macomb, Eastern Michigan, Florida State, and Mary Grove College.
Sounds fun. And then,
Hey, Ronnie, I've been in school for about 55 years.
yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Some people. Then, what did you think you were going to do when you were in junior high?
Junior high, I thought I was going to be a professional baseball player, but somehow that didn't happen.
But you're a gym teacher, and sometimes you still play baseball with
Yes.
us.
Right.
If you were going to be a professional baseball player, what would your number have been?
Ooh, that's a good question. So probably number 7.
That sounds nice. Okay.
7 or 8.
Interesting. When did you know that you wanted to be a teacher?
I don't know if there's an exact time I knew I wanted to be a teacher. It kind of just happened. Things just fell into place, and
Here you are with us.
here I am with you.
Yeah.
And then, what was your favorite and least favorite subject in school?
Ooh. I liked science, like earth science, but I did not like biology. And then one of the classes I had, we had to dissect pigs and frogs and stuff like
Ew.
that. That was, and then I got stuck with a girl group, and I thought I was gonna have to do all the work, and they're the ones that wanted to do it. So I got out of it. I didn't have to do anything, and all the girls cutting into it and digging everything out. But
This
Yeah.
lucky.
so I don't like
Yeah.
that kind of science. I like earth science.
How long have you been teaching at Trinity?
Oh, like a little over 2 years.
Oh, not that long.
But you already knew the answer to that.
Yeah, I did.
I think we all did. And then, tell us a fact that a student would know.
Fact that a student wouldn't know about me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wear a wig.
you do?
Yeah.
It's not your real hair.
No?
Can you take it off?
No, it's not a wig.
Oh.
I was thinking about this for a long time, what my answer would be, but probably that after I got out of college, I worked at Disney World.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
What'd you do there?
I drove these big boats that went from the Magic Kingdom to all the resorts.
Oh,
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, they trusted me to do
Except
that.
when the weather's bad.
Exactly.
wow. I didn't know they were that desperate.
Yeah.
They needed to get you to drive a boat?
Now you're a gym teacher.
I don't know. How does that happen?
Yeah. If you weren't going to be a teacher, what would you do for a living?
Good question.
Being an accountant?
No,
Being a
nothing with
desert-
numbers. I would say I'd like to own a business.
What
But
kind
I don't know what kind of business, but just like be an owner of something. Be in
Maybe
charge
owner
and-
of like a. I don't
You just
know.
want to boss people around?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a yeah.
Just like I do now, so
Yeah.
it's very similar.
You just wanted to boss people around, own your own business, probably like Snay's, chicken wings. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Maybe we
Yeah.
should start that. You guys want to work for me?
Sure.
No.
All right, I'll
Oh,
be
no.
bossing you around though.
I'm 14.
Oh, you can
in
work?
child
You should
labor laws,
hire
you can
other
hire me.
people that you like at gym too.
Yeah.
I'll get Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony will work with me.
Yeah.
Probably would. Probably keep score, keep how many chicken wings you
That's
have.
right. And I'll be eating half of them, so I'll probably lose
Yeah.
money.
Okay. Thank you
Okay,
for
thanks.
coming.
Hey,
Yeah.
anytime, guys.
Thank you for listening to our new podcast, Everything But the Homework. We hope you really liked it.